Chapter 4 of The Golden Canyon by G.A. Henty. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. More plans. "I suppose this is Dave's room?" Dick said when he and his friend were alone. "Yes, from what he said, they lodged here together. But the other two went somewhere else the day after you were brought in, so that place should be quiet. But they come in by turns to sit up with you at night. I wish they would take us with them on this expedition, Dick." "I wish they would. It would be a splendid adventure, and we might come back with no end of gold. At any rate, after being 4 months under Colette, I think we have a right to a holiday. I expect they will let us go with them if you make a strong point of it, Dick." "It shan't be for want of trying, Tom, anyhow." The lads had their way. As soon as the 3 men saw that they were really bent upon accompanying them, they raised no further objections. "We shall be glad enough to have you with us," Dave said, "and though the work will be toilsome and hard, there is nothing in it that 2 active young chaps like you need to be afraid of. It is just the Injuns. They are the worst kind, and have always set themselves against gold seekers. That is natural enough, for they know that if gold mines were once opened in their country, the whites would pour in, and they would soon be wiped out. Anyhow, everyone who goes prospecting in that part of Arizona knows well enough that he takes his life in his hands. All along the country by the Gila River is the stronghold of the Apaches, the terror of northern Mexico. Many parties of miners have set out, but very few have ever come back again. But those that have tell of gold richer by 100 times than ever was seen in California, and have brought with them sacks of nuggets to prove it. These are men who have had the luck to get in and out without ever having been seen by Injuns. The large parties have never succeeded. So you see, young fellows, the odds are strongly agin you. Still, if you like to go with us, you are welcome. But if the time comes when the redskins have got us shut up in some place we can never get out alive, remember that you are there on your own choice, and that we had no hand in getting you into the scrape. We will never blame you, whatever comes of it, Dave. If the risk is not too great for you and your comrades, it is not too great for us. There is nothing in the world we should like so much as such an adventure." "Well, that is settled then, and no more words about it. We shall be glad to have 2 more with us, and we intended to go alone, only because it is not everyone that can be trusted." "What do we take with us?" "We shall each take a horse, and a Mexican pony to carry our food and traps. If everything goes right, and we find a bonanza, we can load them up on the way back. $20 will buy a pony here. Then you will want a critter each to ride. We are not going to get first-rate ones, for if the Indians come on us, it is fighting that we shall have to do, not riding. Among those mountains, no shod horse of the plains has a chance with those Indian ponies, which can climb like goats and go at a gallop along places where a horse from the plains wouldn't dare move. Then you will want rifles and 6-shooters. That is about all. I'm afraid our stock of money will hardly run to it, and I think we had better work for a while in one of the diggings to make up what we shall want." "We have 20 pounds between us," Dick said, "and we can draw on our fathers for 25 pounds each. The consul here has, of course, heard of my being wounded and left behind, and I expect he won't mind cashing our draft." "There will be more than we want," the miner said. "Still, it is as well to be on the right side. If we don't find any gold up there, we shall want a little when we get back to keep us going until something turns up." 3 days later, Dick was strong enough to go with his friend to the consul's. They found that Mr. Allen had spoken about Dick, and told him that should he recover from his wounds, he would cash a draft for him without any fear. Therefore, in half an hour, the lads returned to their lodgings with $350, having changed their English gold into the currency of the country. "You have not got your horses yet, I suppose, Dave?" "No, we shall go up the river about 120 miles. There we shall buy horses cheaper than we can get them here. We have got rifles and Colts. There are things one can't very well do without a knocking about among the hills. I will go round the town, and I have no doubt I shall be able to pick you up what you want cheap. There are so many men get rubbed out one way or the other that such things are pretty often for sale." The other two miners, who during Dick's illness had nothing to do but to stroll about the town, both knew of men who had rifles or revolvers to dispose of, and in a couple of hours the purchases were completed and a considerable stock of ammunition was also bought. "I should recommend yer," the miner called Zekel said, as the party were talking matters over that evening, "to rig yourselves out miner fashion. Them uniforms look very nice on board ship, but they ain't much good for knocking about in the mountains, and yer can leave them here, and take to them again when yer gets back." The lad thought the advice was good, and next day rigged themselves out in red shirts and high boots, in which were tucked the bottom of the thick moleskin trousers. They also bought jackets of the same material as the troopers. "You will be glad of them at night," Dave said. "It gets pretty cold up in the mountains when the sun is down, and we shan't be lighting any fires, you bet." They also bought a couple of rough blankets each, a spare shirt, and 2 or 3 pairs of stockings, a couple of long bowie knives, and 2 broad-brimmed felt hats. End of chapter 4.